welcome into another edition of In the Fields. Today, we are very grateful to be joined by the goaltender, the guy between the pipes, the big man, Sammy Bernard. Sammy, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, a big announcement last week. Obviously, you're coming here. You're officially signed. You were signed, sealed, delivered. Obviously, draft night was a big night, and again, thank you for taking part in that. What was it like to become a part of the Topeka Scarecrows?
It's when we talked about it last time during draft night, I was excited then and I'm excited now. I think we're going to have a great team. It's going to be a great year, and I can't wait to be a part of the community of Topeka. It's just everything's looking up right now.
And speaking of which, obviously draft night was huge. We got a lot of great names drafted, and then Robbie Nichols still making moves, reuniting another former teammate of yours down there in Baton Rouge, and as anybody who look at the elite prospects knows, with the Elmira River Sharks, Elijah Wilson joining you here in Topeka. With that kind of moves, and obviously what Robbie's trying to do, how does that kind of make the impression for you guys as you come here to Topeka?
You know, every time I hear something about the team, it seems better and better. Getting Elijah Wilson to come from Baton Rouge was, I think, a huge pickup. That guy's going to do a lot for us. He's got some great skill in front of the net, and he's very much a team player. So having him in the lineup and being friends with him for the last 2 years now, I think it's great.
And as you kind of look over the roster, obviously, goaltenders have a little bit of a different outlook on looking at rosters and how the team is built out. And Robbie said it in his quote. He's looking for you to be that leader and to kind of help with this team moving forward. As you look at the roster, what has you excited? I mean, we've kind of talked about what about being a scarecrow has you excited, but what about this roster specifically has you excited?
Well, whenever me and Robbie talk, uh, you know, he seems very defensively minded, which is very it's almost foreign to me at this point. Every coach I know wants is always gun ho, offense, offense, offense. Having somebody who worries about defense is very huge for me. Um, you know, it, I'm a very strong believer that best offense is a good defense. Being a goalie, I have nothing but defense in my mind. So it's 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 really good seeing this roster um, with the defensive minded players that we also have who can also produce up front. It's going to be a very, very exciting and can't wait. I just can't wait for it to all start.
Well, you talk about defensive minded, and obviously there's a lot to that that goes into kind of the everyday of it. But speaking of being defensive minded, three big shutouts for you last year. That was obviously a huge part of your game, and obviously exciting anytime you can put a goose egg up for the other squad. What uh, what is that like to kind of walk into? I know it was your first couple games of the season too. I do believe someone might have been against the Seawolves where I may have been. But what was that what does that kind of do for a goalie? I mean, how exciting is that and kind of walk the people through what a shutout actually feels like in a game here.
So, shutouts they're amazing to have. Always make you feel good. But as much as I want to take credit for a shutout, it's a 5 man on the ice and a full team effort for any shutout that happens. As good as it makes the goalie look, it's the players in front of them blocking the shots, making sure the puck gets out, getting those rebounds out of the way. And even in my shutouts last year, the team in front of me just they were lights out as well. So I'm a big believer that even the worst goalie could have the greatest game with the right team in front of them.
For sure, and that's definitely true. You did mention offense, so I do want to talk about you do have an assist to your credit, and I'm just not sure. You want to oversee that. We don't see a ton of goaltender assists in this level, but you definitely have one up there from your time in Elmira, and obviously, uh, those were big games and obviously important parts of the season too. For a team that really had some trouble making the postseason, but were close all season long. Columbus, the expectation was to make the playoffs. Baton Rouge, you kind of backstop them into the playoff spot there. But knowing you're coming here to a place that once again the expectation will be to make the playoffs and to be successful, does that add pressure to you, or how does that feel for an incoming goaltender like yourself?
I don't think this game or any competitive game is without pressure. So it's something that, everybody at this level has learned to either deal with or, crumbled with. It always, there's always something that gets to us, or, there's always something to get us back into it. So the pressure is always there. But I think the best thing anybody can do is just control what you can control, not worry about, any other outcome. It's just worry about what you can control and push forward, worry about the next, 5 minutes of the game, worry about the next shot that's come, worry about your next shot that you can make, next play that you can make. So, take the pressure as it is and just know that it's not the end of the world if you make a mistake.
There it is. Important one for all the young fans listening in. Uh, take it as it comes and know it's not on you. You have another chance here moments later, especially if you're a goaltender. Definitely gonna have more opportunities to make the save. Uh,
Mind like a goldfish.
Mine, there you go, Ted Lasso. Love it.
There you go.
That being said, obviously the season schedule is out officially now, which is a change since we last talked. And obviously, you've gotten a chance to see what the schedule looks like, who the team's going to play, starting the year off on the road, and then obviously coming here second week of the season and getting the opportunity to play in front of these Topeka fans. What was the reaction when you looked at the schedule and kind of a different look than we've seen in the past couple of years?
I took a quick glance at it. I try not to focus too much on, you know, too far in the future. I feel like, we're talking about pressure that can add some extra unneeded emotions or anything. So I took a quick glance at it. We're furthest out west team. I was not surprised by any kind of travel we have to do or anything like that. I did see there's 1 month we'll be away for the whole month, and not surprised about that at all. But I think I don't think it will matter too much who we play when we play them. With the team we have in front, we're going to have to beat everybody eventually, right? So
Yep.
I think I don't think it's going to be a big factor.
And as you kind of get set for a season, you just kind of touched on it there, not looking too far ahead. So, I mean, obviously, we're July right now. Training camp is coming up in 2 months, which to me doesn't seem that far away. But as players and you guys are getting ready, obviously, you're on the ice, you're in the gym, you're doing all the stuff to get ready for the season. Uh, how quick does an off season fly by? Especially, I mean, you were in the first round of the playoffs this last year. How quick does this all move, and how do you kind of keep yourself prepared for the upcoming season?
I feel like the older I get, the quicker everything goes by. So every year the off season gets a little shorter. And I feel very fortunate and lucky to be able to play a game I love, which makes it even easier for the off season to end. Um, so I mean, it's playing this game for, I don't know, I've been traveling since I was 15, so it's been about 16, 17 years playing real competitive hockey for me. It's become kind of second nature just to be able to be on the move, no matter what time of year it is. And I actually kind of like traveling, so it's just another experience to be somewhere else.
Well, I have great news for you. We're we'll be doing a lot of that, so that's fantastic. And obviously, Sammy, you've had a long career. I know you and I have talked at length over several interviews, and obviously we've gotten to know each other on the bus and everything as well. So, um, the fans at home, obviously, your career has been beyond impressive. You've had opportunities to go deep in playoff runs. You were on a Roanoke team that I think was probably good enough to win a championship a couple of years ago. You've played against, the best opponents at these levels, and you had some time overseas as well. So, what is it about what you've seen that kind of has crafted your leadership style? When Robbie talks about you being a leader in the locker room, you've been all over. You played extensive lengths of hockey. What is it about all of that that has kind of crafted what you would consider your leadership style?
Um, it's a pretty loaded question. I think there's a lot of different ways to be a leader. I'm not the guy to tell somebody what to do. I'm more of a lead by example kind of guy, much more of a lover, not a fighter. I'll stick up for my teammate, but I'm not gonna yell at my teammate to do better, be something else. I'm more stay in your lane, don't get in my lane or you're gonna get run over. So it's very, very much of just lead by example and hope people follow suit.
All right, awesome. And then we'll take it into this last part here. Obviously, Topeka, the capital city of Kansas, there's been a lot going on. I've been all over this town and getting to see things, and we've been trying to share more and more on our social media. Is there anything you've seen that you're most excited about to come here to Topeka and get your hands on and get in and take part in?
I'll tell you what, the first thing I did was I looked up all the golf courses around. So hopefully some fans come join me for some rounds of golf before the cold sets in. But I'm really looking forward to just embedding myself in the community, help out with the kids, the coaching. And I was actually hoping to start a little fundraiser this year with every save I make, I donate $1 to the Humane Society. Hoping that, other people might to defray, adoption costs and hoping some people might help me out with that. But I'm really, really looking forward to being a part of the Topeka community.
That's awesome to hear. Well, we can't wait to hear all the details on that, and I'm sure we've got stuff coming out soon. Can't wait to see where that ends up, and obviously, there's any way to give back to the community, whatever we can do. Obviously, always great to hear, and it's great to see the players taking part in that as well. Community first, and that's kind of how the team has continued to say that they're gonna work here in Topeka, and I look forward to seeing that. And thank you for being a shining example of that.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Of course. Well, with that, folks, we ask you to hit that like button, hit subscribe, follow along every week as we continue to talk with these great players. And Sammy, we look forward to having you out here in Topeka very, very soon.
Can't wait.